Solutions, and I feel like willpower, we all need willpower. It is absolutely necessary for us to accumulate a little willpower. Just figure out if you have the willpower to do the things that you um set your heart and mind to do. You are going to need some willpower. So I have some tips that will help you. um I have 6 tips that will help you build willpower. Don't take on too much. Please do not take on too much. I heard a lot of people say that they are not setting New Year's resolutions, and that's just not something that they want to do, because people oftentimes get in the habit of setting resolutions for themselves and they never stick to it, or by the end of the year, they are nowhere near accomplishing the things that they set out to do. And that may be because you are biting off more than you can chew. If you want to be effective in anything that you want to do, just don't take on too much. Be realistic with yourself. There is nothing wrong with setting high goals for yourself, but do not take on too much. I'm giving you 6 tips on what you could do to build your willpower. Be creative. Be creative in the things that you do. Sometimes we get discouraged because when one thing does not work, typically we get discouraged and we just fall off. So we just don't even want to do it no more because one way doesn't work. I'm telling you, creativity works. Creativity works. Creativity works. Oftentimes we try to get in the habit of just jumping right on ahead and doing things the way that other people do them. Just for instance, a lot of my fellow entrepreneurs out there, shout out to y'all. There's nothing wrong with being self-made entrepreneur or anything like that, but going out getting that getting the LLC and then just doing all these other things. There's nothing wrong with doing all of that, but sometimes you have to be creative. Sometimes you got to go out there and smile and shake hands, or just show people what you got. When I first started selling food, I was giving my food away for free for a long time. I was like, y'all want to taste this food? Now people are calling me like, when you coming out with some food? So I mean, I still love to feed people. That is one thing that I think that I am going to be doing forever. That is a passion of mine, but I just had to be creative. Like, just whatever you do, it's nothing wrong being structured and doing things in a certain manner. We're supposed to be structured in the way that we do things, but don't forget to be creative. Please be creative in your success. When one thing does not work, please do not be afraid to try something else. We are talking about willpower this morning. I'm giving you tips on what you can do to build your willpower. I want y'all to be successful in the things that you are trying to do in this new year. Do not get discouraged. Do not give up. Use a little bit of willpower. So step number 3 is get support from others. Find people that you can get support from. I mean, I know sometimes it get discouraging because the people that you feel like should be supporting you, it's not going to always look like what you think it's going to look like. It ain't going to always be your mom or your brother or your sister. It's going to be a stranger. It's going to be somebody that you don't even know. Trust me, I know. I have customers that are like family to me now. So get support, even if it's not. Don't try to make somebody support you if they are not willing to support you. But the person that is supporting you, that's who you go ahead and get your encouragement and your support from. I talk to the people that talk to me, that want to talk about my businesses, that want to talk about my books, that want to talk about my teas, that want to talk about my food, that want to talk about my next catering job. I know I am a woman of many hats. I do a lot of stuff, and I don't mind getting support from other people. I love the love. I give it and I receive it. So get support from others. Tip number 4 is avoid temptation. I tell people this all the time. You are not that strong. You are not as strong as you think you are. Me being someone that is, well, I'm walking into my 10th year of sobriety. So I'm clean and sober now. I don't hang around the people that I used to hang around. I don't do the things that I used to do. I don't talk to the people that I used to talk to. And that could be in any form. That could be people that I used to get down with or whatever. Heck no, I'm not hanging around y'all no more. I'm sorry. I can't afford I need too much out of life. Like, I can't afford to hang around people that means me no good, and I cannot afford to hang around people that make me feel low about myself, because that would trigger me into sliding back to doing things that I know that I don't want to do. So avoid temptation, whatever that looks like to you. Avoid temptation. That is tip number 4. Tip number 5 is, if I can find it, it's on here somewhere. Set small, achievable goals for yourself. Set small, achievable goals for yourself. That is something that I do oftentimes. I don't care what it is. I want to be in the habit of building my momentum. I want to stay moving. So I want to get up. I want to work out. I want to stretch. I want to clean my house. I want to do things for my kids. I want to take care of my bills. I want to get in the habit of building the momentum of just continuing to move. So I set small, achievable goals for myself, and I make sure I accomplish those goals. Those little things that I accomplish on a regular basis always leads to big things. So we are talking about learning how to build your own willpower. Set small goals for yourself. My last tip, last but not least, is reward yourself. Set up a reward system for yourself. I love nice things. I love reward myself. I love doing nice things for myself, whether it be something small, like just sitting here watching movies. I work hard a lot, so sometimes I like watching trash TV shows, not too raunchy. Sex in the City, I'll sit here and watch that. I love movies. I love Christmas movies. I tell people that all the time. I can watch love stories, Christmas stories from January all the way through December. So I reward myself with stuff like that. Hot baths, buying myself something expensive every now and then, just doing something for myself. And then not only that, I reward myself mentally. If I did a good job, I'm going to tell myself I did a good job. I have to keep myself encouraged. Oftentimes, nobody will tell you that you did a good job. So you have to get in the habit of rewarding yourself. So that is my last tip on learning how to build your own willpower. This is good, so I hope y'all listening. The greatest human strength has been deemed, willpower has been deemed the greatest human strength. So I looked that up. That is a fun fact that I looked up when I was researching my speech on doing willpower. Willpower has literally been deemed the greatest human strength. I am not making this up. All we need to do is learn how to activate our willpower, and it will take us further than we even imagine that we could ever possibly go. So I want to talk to you guys about a woman. Her name is Helen Keller. Helen Keller was an American author, a disability rights advocate, a political activist, and lecturer. She was born in Tuscumbia, Alabama. She lost her sight and her hearing after becoming ill at the age of 19 months old. This woman, Helen Keller, who grew to be very successful, lost her sight and her hearing before she even turned 2 years old. I'm talking to you guys about Helen Keller because she is the prime example of willpower. She did not give up on herself. Her family called her wild and crazy. She did not know how to, she couldn't communicate with them because she couldn't see and she couldn't hear, but she found someone who was willing to help her and teach her along the way, and she became so successful over the years. She was well known. Helen Keller was a household name back then. I love doing research on things that happened like way before my time. Everything is a teachable lesson. I watch motivational videos with Kobe Bryant. I talk about my man Kobe all the time. God rest your soul, Kobe. But one thing Kobe said that will stick to me, that I will never forget. Kobe said, stick to the basics. The game don't change. The game don't change. We make things complicated. He said, just learn the fundamentals. And that's just life. That's how Kobe became as amazing as he was. That man worked hard. He said he ate, sleep, everything he did revolved around basketball. That's how much he loved the sound of his sneakers hitting the court. He just loved basketball. He said he watched basketball games from the time he woke up to the time he went to bed. He don't know how many jump shots he missed before he started making like 1,000 a day or something like that. And he said, no matter how many basketball games he played or how many basketball games he watched, the game never changed. The game never changed. It is us who make things complicated. And, if you don't understand, and I'm in a relationship, but I'm not in a relationship, y'all cracks me up. Either you in a relationship or you not in a relationship. And I'm just using that one thing for example because I hear that sometimes. But it's funny to me because it is not that complicated. If it's that complicated, please don't tell me. Please don't tell me it's gonna give me a headache. I don't even want to know if it's that level of complicated. I honestly, truthfully do not want to know. So let me stay on track. Talking about Miss Helen Keller, I'm talking about her because she was a prime example of willpower. She activated her willpower and it allowed her to become very successful despite her disabilities. You're talking about a woman who was deaf and blind. So she was born in 1880 and she died in 1968 at the age of 68 years old. It don't get no better than that. We make so many excuses why we can't do this and we can't do that. I heard someone mention her name and then I began to research her, and this woman was amazing. When I tell you willpower, she even learned how to talk. She got in a relationship. Her family told her not to get married. She wanted to get married to the man that she fell in love with, but they said, you're disabled. They talked her out of getting married, but she even learned how to talk. How do a person that is deaf and blind learn how to talk? She wrote books that became very successful over the years. Everybody knew who Helen Keller was in the late 1980s and early 1900s, but the game don't change. These are survival stories of people who are not afraid to activate their own willpower. I'm telling you. And we think it is set aside for a certain class of people. If they can do it, we can do it too. When I read the story of Helen Keller, it completely blew my mind. We should not give willpower self-imposed limits. We set limits. We are quick to tell ourselves the things that we cannot do instead of telling ourselves the things that we can do. We have to get out of the habit of saying what we can't do and start saying what we can do. I try not to speak anything negative over myself or over my children in any way, shape, form, or fashion, even though they get on my nerves, even though I get on my own nerves sometimes. I'm like, why did I do that? Whatever. It don't matter. I speak positivity over myself because that is what I want for myself. I don't want to get preachy on y'all, but the word of God say a man is as he thinks in his own mind. If you thinking all crazy about yourself, that's what the reality of you is going to be. If you talking bad about your kids and talking about this one, this, and they bad and all this kind of stuff, them kids ain't bad. Stop saying all kind of crazy stuff about them kids. Speak highly over your kids because in all reality, reality, you only want good for them. And if you don't get good for them, then you have to do a self-reflection on what kind of parent that you are. But us as human beings are the only living organisms that set limits to ourselves. How tall does a tree grow? A tree does not stop growing until it reaches its capacity. Animals, plants, any living thing reaches its full capacity, but us and our educated thinking, we tell ourselves, well, I was born in the ghetto and my mom was on drugs and my baby daddy ain't worth nothing and all of this kind of stuff. Blah, blah, freakity, flipping, blah, instead of going out there and doing the things that you know in your heart that you want to do. Move all your excuses to the side. Set all of your excuses to the side. Say the drama for your mama. If you know that it is something that you want to do in your heart, then you need to get up off of your horse and go out there and do it. We are talking about willpower this morning. It is exactly what it sounds like. Willpower. Activate the willpower with inside of yourself. You can literally do anything that you set your heart and mind out to. Listen, I'm trying to speak some life into y'all. I don't know about y'all, but these are the things that I tell myself on a regular basis because I know I can. This is what I want for myself. Call me crazy. They call me dumb, crazy, stupid, and you don't have enough education and all of this kind of stuff. Watch me. Please watch me. Please watch me. I'm never going to let a single soul, if you ain't God, you cannot tell me what I cannot do. And I'm not going to sit here and tell myself the things that I cannot do. I strictly speak positivity over myself, even when the enemy rises up to try to take control over my thoughts and over my mind. I intercede. And I take control over my own thoughts. And that is something that we need to learn how to do. They say don't give the enemy a foothold. Once you allow the enemy to sneak up into your thoughts and take your mind and your thoughts, he has control over your entire life. He can't have my mind. He can't have my money. He can't have my kids. He can't have my future. He can't have my destiny. He can't have my thoughts. It all starts in your mind. Think positively over yourself. That is one way that you can activate your will power, is by thinking good things over yourself. Willpower is an unlimited source if we believe it to be so. Willpower is unlimited. It is something that you can always go back into and dip in a bucket and pull a little bit more out and see what else that you are willing to do to activate your own willpower. Don't limit yourself. I say that just to say, do not limit yourself. I have a quote from a man named George Herbert. So George Herbert was an English poet. I know y'all think I'm crazy, but I always look into history because these is where these things originated from. You can always learn from your history. I mean, I love Black history. I love looking into Black history, but it's not always Black history for me. I love looking into history, period, from where it all began, and not this modern stuff that is always going on. You can learn a lot of stuff from where it all originated from. So George Herbert was an English poet. You can look him up when you get a chance. He was a priest in the 1600s. And y'all ain't gonna believe this one because this is what George Herbert said. He said, where there is a will, there is a way. Y'all thought that just came about in like the early 2000s or something, didn't y'all? No. George Herbert said that back in the 1600s. A man who was a poet and a priest. He said, where there is a will, there is a way. That wasn't his exact words. His exact words was, where a man is willing, a way will always be made, or something like that. So they twisted his words around a little bit and they said, where there is a will, there is a way. We are talking about willpower this morning. See, I'm telling y'all something that I know y'all probably did not know. So, willpower is trying hard not to do something that you want to do very much. So you know you want to smoke that cigarette. My mom used to tell me, I'm going to keep it simple for y'all. I love my mother, God rest her soul. My mom used to tell me everything that's good to you ain't good for ya. Now, I know some of my seasoned folk up on here heard that one before, because everything that is good to you is not necessarily good for you. So willpower is trying hard not to smoke a cigarette, not to go ahead and have sex with that woman, or call that woman you know you ain't supposed to be talking to, or what have you know you married and you over here talking in somebody's inbox. Activate willpower and think about what's most important, your wife at home or your family. Think about your businesses and the money that what you want your bank account to look like. Listen, I'm gonna talk to y'all this morning. I'm gonna talk to y'all this morning. What do you really want out of life? Activate your willpower. Instead of doing something that is not going to benefit you, think about what you really want out of life and activate your own willpower. So this is simple terms. I looked up many different ways to try to break down willpower to y'all. And it is one of the best things. All you have to do is make up in your mind what you are willing to do to get what you want, and your willpower is activated. Your willpower is activated. I'm telling you, you'll be doing yourself a favor. Willpower is the ability to resist short-term gratification in pursuit for long-term goals. Y'all want me to say that again, don't y'all? Willpower is the ability to resist short-term gratification in pursuit for long-term goals. Willpower correlates with with positive life outcomes such as higher self-esteem, lower substance abuse rates, mental and physical health. I did not just make that up. I looked up these facts. Willpower correlates with positive life outcomes like a higher self-esteem. You will think more of yourself if you learn how to activate your own willpower. Lower substance abuse. If you are somebody who know you smoke too much weed, they say ain't nothing wrong with the weed. Well, weed is green to come from the herb. Trust me, I got one child that's going to turn into a butter weed if he keeps smoking weed the way that he keeps smoking weed. That's my baby. Shout out to him. I love you so much. You know I do, but it ain't that much weed in the world. It is other things that you could be doing with your money, your time, and with yourself. Weed could be a problem. We could be a problem. It just really can. If you see yourself in the same position year after year, you don't have nothing. Most of your money is going to weed. Your tips of your fingers is black. Your lips is black. You sitting up here scraping up more money because you done ran out of weed. Now you need some more weed. Now you got the munchies. You hungry and all that kind of stuff. Come on now. Stop lying to yourself. Telling yourself that weed is not a problem when all reality, weed can take you under. We can take you under, and it could also be a gateway drug. Listen, whatever floats your boat, this is a no judgment zone. If that is your thing, I can't judge nobody because I had my struggles with substance abuse. I'm grateful for my sobriety today. And I ain't knocking nobody. If that's what you do, then that's what you do. But call it what it is. I mean, if you like taking you a couple hits off a joint and then you can put that joint out and you ain't got to revisit it for another 2 days or something like that. I had a friend like that. He had one joint for a whole week. But if you smoking 5, 6, 7, 8 blunts from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed and it's taking a chunk out of your life, that time adds up. That money adds up. You could be doing something else with yourself. That's substance abuse. So it ain't even the fact that you smoking the weed. The weed is smoking you at this point. I'm just saying. So that correlates. Willpower correlates with the lower substance abuse rate. I ain't trying to get all up in your business, your bank accounts, or nothing like that. I am just reading simple facts to y'all. You will You will have a better mental health. You will have a better physical health if you learn how to activate willpower in your life. So basically, willpower is the ability to control your own self. Period. Learn how to control yourself. Activate a little bit of willpower in your life. Activate some willpower. So, listen, I want y'all to think about this. I want you to write this down. I want you to say this to yourself for the remaining of this Friday, for the rest of the day. I want you to say to yourself, write it down, think about it, put it in the notes in your phone, go back and revisit it and say it to yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror and repeat this to yourself in 20 times. It ain't even going to take you 3 minutes to look in the mirror and repeat this to yourself. Y'all do me this favor. I'm doing this for I want y'all to succeed. I don't want to be the only one out here winning, because trust me, your girl is out here winning. And I want y'all to be winning too. So repeat this to yourself. I am unstoppable. I am unstoppable, because you are. You are unstoppable. And if you're not unstoppable right now, it's because you are in your own way. I am unstoppable. I can, I will, I must. Say that to yourself. I am unstoppable. You can do whatever that you put your heart and your soul and your mind into. Think about these things as you go throughout your day. Thank you all for tuning into my little bit of morning motivation. God bless you. Enjoy the rest of this Friday. Y'all have a blessed weekend.